What's up there, guys? Welcome to my channel. My name is Titus AB, aka Mr. Africa, aka Woke, and today we're going to be talking about a subject that is very important in today's contemporary society. We're going to be talking about the 4 markers of self-leadership. So a few weeks ago I organized an event titled Pass It On in my town Bamenda, where I invited over 70 young people to teach them a particular subject, which is that of youth participation in local development and governance. And so it was a very rich event. There were young people from different regions who even traveled to attend a particular event. There was so much success recorded at the end of the event, and we are so thankful that at the end of the day the message went through and the lessons were absorbed and well assimilated by the young people. And one very important concept that I taught there was that of self-leadership. So today, guys, I'm going to give you the 4 markers of self-leadership which I taught at that particular event. So stay tuned to the end of the video, because by the end of the video you're going to be soaked with what self-leadership is, what leadership is, and what are the 4 markers of self-leadership. Let's get into the video. So I'll start off by explaining what leadership is. To me, leadership is just one thing: influence. And like John C. Maxwell says, he says leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. But there's something that I want to add to this definition, and is that leadership is equal a skill, which means it's something that is learnable, and it's something that when you practice and when you become familiar with, you become better at. It's like every other skill: photography, videography, copywriting, or any other. Now, self-leadership is more about leading your own self as an individual. Now that comes with factors such as having your goals, having your path, having a direction, having objectives, or having motives around which you build your life. Now, the very first marker of self-leadership is a trajectory. What is a trajectory? For those of you who have studied physics before, especially in high school, you're going to discover that a trajectory is a path. They just say a trajectory, the trajectory of a projectile. A trajectory is a path followed by an object in the course of its motion. So an individual has to set out a trajectory, which is the very first marker of self-leadership. Now, what that means is that every individual needs to have a vision or a goal that they're aiming to achieve, maybe at the end of their life. It could be a long-term purpose, it could be a short-term goal, it could be a few objectives that are planning to achieve maybe at the end of the week, at the end of the month, at the end of the year, or at the end of 10 years. So every single individual needs to have a trajectory. But now, a trajectory in a global sense is more of having a direction. By direction, what I mean is, let's say you want your career path to be in the area of social entrepreneurship, for example. That is not really a job, that is more of a career and a purpose, and it's something that is going to last you all your life. You're eventually going to retire from your job, but you cannot retire from your purpose, which is social entrepreneurship, which is what I truly call a career. So every individual needs to have a purpose. In order to lead yourself, the very first thing that you need to have is a purpose. So the question is, do you have a trajectory? Moving on to the second marker of self-leadership, and that second marker is discipline. So there are many definitions of discipline, but the one that I like to give to it is that discipline is all about prioritizing your higher desires over your lower desires. Now, the simple truth is, most of what happens in our lives, or most of what happens in the world, is simply driven by desire. The higher desires and their lower desires. Let's have 2 examples. An example of a higher desire could be to achieve, or let's say to have an A in a particular subject or in a particular course. And an example of a lower desire would be to sleep. So in that particular case, they are both desires, but one has a higher preference. One has to have a higher preference over the other one. And so discipline is you letting yourself prioritize the higher desire over the lower desire. So in that particular case, instead of going to sleep, which is your lower desire, you prioritize your higher desire by studying for that particular test. So that is what discipline is all about. And now the simple truth is, everybody has higher and lower desires. I'm not sure there's anybody in this world who doesn't want to get to a particular point which is almost more than themselves. Everybody dreams to an extent. But now it is the discipline to achieve those dreams, or to work towards those dreams, that lacks and lets people just stay wherever they are, become complacent, and eventually fall out of the system. So discipline is a very important aspect when it comes to working towards your projectile, towards your trajectory rather. So you need to have a trajectory, and you need to develop discipline. Now, discipline, like every other habit, you can cultivate it. So it's something that can cultivate over time. It doesn't come overnight, but also you need to spend some time and energy into cultivating discipline, cultivating the habit of prioritizing a higher desire, a more important desire, over a lower desire. So the question now at the end of this point is this: are you disciplined? Moving on to marker number 3, which is filtration. Now, filtration is a broad term, but I use it in this case to mean filtering out distractions or avoiding distractions or obstacles. Now, in the world that we live in today, there are so many distractions. We do not have the problem of the inavailability of information. We have the problem of the availability of excess information, and that is even a more difficult problem to solve than the inavailability of information, because with the coming of the internet and mobile technology and computer related technologies, information is literally available now everywhere for everybody at a click of a few buttons. So what happens is, it is necessary to be able to filter out distractions on the path of your trajectory. So a distraction, one of the biggest distractions that we have today is social media. Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, LinkedIn is more of a professional media platform, so people are still hooked on LinkedIn. So there are various media platforms right now, social media platforms, which cause a big distraction, especially to young people. And it's so difficult because most young people are addicted to social media these days, and it's a big problem. It's like a canker worm, like I said. Now, I did a video last year where I talked about social media and addiction about social media. You can click on the card right here to watch the video, or you click in the link in the description. I think the first link in the description below is going to be a link to that video. You can click on it, watch that video, and leave your comments about it. So the biggest distraction is social media. Another distraction could just be friends or people, other people, like I used to say. Having other people around you who do not have a common trajectory as yours is going to be a distraction to your goals, because these people are not going to support your goals. They're not going to see, they're not going to understand your goals and your vision, and because of that, it is going to be dampened. So there's a common saying which goes thus: do not tell your vision to a person with a small brain, because they will not be able to comprehend it. And when they're not able to comprehend it, they make you feel discouraged about the size of your dream or your vision or your goal. So sometimes it's good to keep it to yourself, or look for the people who have a common mindset with you and form a relationship with them. The video on this card right here talks about the kinds of relationships that you should form if you want to have more meaning in your life. Go ahead and watch it before you come back to this one. Moving over to the 4th marker of self-leadership, guys. This is the most important marker, and this is what I preach in almost all my videos. Work. I can say 10 million times. Now, if you plan for 10 years and you do not work for 1 hour, then your 10 years of planning simply go down the drain. Sometimes it's important to plan for a very long period of time, because it helps you to see all the small intricacies and details of your work before you go into it. But understand that at the end of the day, it is very, very important. It is almost indispensable to sit down and to get some work done. Now, that is where your fate is determined. Most of the times, what you know is important, but what are you able to do with what you know? So you have to sit down, you have to think of how to materialize or how to contextualize what you know in your brain to be tangible in some form. It doesn't have to be like physically tangible, but it has to be materialized or tangible in some other sense. So once you have it in your head, once you have the vision or the goal or the thing in your head, bring it down to real life by working. Now, so many young people fall in this particular trap of having these fantastic goals. And I talk with young people all the time. They reach out to me, Titus, I have this, I have that, I've been planning on this, I've been wanting to do that. But at the end of the day, several months pass by and you don't see them doing anything about it. You might have the most awesome vision or the most awesome idea in your mind which could change the world, but if you don't sit down and work on it, it is just as good as what it is, an idea. It cannot really do anything to anybody. So once you have that idea, once you have the trajectory, once you've set out your discipline, once you filtrate, you then go to work, and work. Elon Musk said he works every waking hour. So every hour that he's awake, he's working. He's either awake working or he's resting, which might be sleeping. He doesn't take vacations because he said vacations will kill you. On several occasions, of course, we have seen how vacations almost killed Elon Musk. So that's why he doesn't take vacations anymore. But it's okay to take a vacation unless that it threatens your life as well. So if you're made it to this point in the video, guys, thank you so much. Go ahead and hit the like button. Comment which of these markers was your best and which one you think that you've been lagging in and you could possibly catch up in. If you have any specific questions, make sure to leave them in the comment section below, and I'm going to reach out to you and answer your questions. Do not forget to hit the subscribe button and join this family. Also hit the bell notification button so that you get notifications when we upload new videos. And that's about it for today. A few weeks ago, I organized an event titled Pass It On in my town, Bamenda, where I organized oh god, that's a good one.